All right, now over to a completely different industry, the dairy industry, with Katja Maria Bittman. She will talk a bit about how they see TVC as out of the box and also how to please their demanding users. Are you there, Katja?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
So you as well, feel free to say a few words about yourself. What do you do at Arla?
Yes, so as it says here, I'm Katja, and I'm responsible for our digital transformations within marketing, innovation, communication, and sustainability in Arla. And within that area lies PLM as well. So that is what I've been doing for the past 4-5 years.
So who are Arla and what do you use 3DEXPERIENCE for?
Yeah, so Arla is the fourth largest dairy company in the world and the largest producer of organic dairy products. We are a farmer-owned company, so that means we have roughly 9,000 farmer owners, and we are roughly 20,000 employees across the world. I think we started our sort of PLM journey, or maybe I should say I started the PLM journey quite a few years ago. In early 2018, it became more like a we. So by that time, we were an actual team working on PLM. And here we also started the work together with Dassault and you from TECHNIA in a partnership to build, implement, and roll out PLM and 3DX across Arla. We had our first go live in October 18. So quite quickly after actually having begun the actual development of the solution, which also meant that was a very sort of immature solution that we started out with. And since then, we have been incrementally building the solution and rolling it out across our different sites in Arla. So across the whole, you could say, life cycle of our products, from the beginning in innovation to the actual development of our products and recipes, and on to actually having implemented our products in production and selling them to our customers. So that whole process of supporting that with all of the specifications and details around our products, packaging, and so on.
So I know you have a very strong out-of-the-box strategy. You started off with a strategy that also became the revised out-of-the-box strategy, including TVC. So you see TVC as out-of-the-box. Could you tell us a little bit about that thinking?
Yeah, so you could say we decided right from the beginning that we wanted to go with out of the box as much as at all possible, and we had sort of you could say an advice from our CIO, sort of like a rule of thumb, a kind of advice to say let your users try out the solution and work in the solution for 6 months, and if they still feel that something is an issue, then you start to look into how to solve that issue or how to do that particular enhancement. Not necessarily saying that it's not still out of the box, but just that we needed to wait a little bit to actually do any kind of changes to what we had already implemented. And we of course have known about TVC right from the beginning. We have had a lot of inspiration. I think we've met a lot of other TECHNIA customers who have shown us their different solutions, either where they've used TVCs in selected areas or actually sort of put it out throughout their UI, and we knew that we were not going to go that way, at least not from the beginning. But then you could say we have waited a lot more than 6 months, and we have frequently done user surveys to sort of determine how valuable do people find the solution. We do that across all of our sort of IT solutions in Arla. How user-friendly is it? How intuitive is the solution? And from day one, we've sort of seen how people have seen the value of 3DX and PLM. But we have also continuously gotten feedback on some of the same sort of themes, and those themes were sort of agreed on by both, you could say, our frequent users and our more occasional users. So that was around sort of finding that data was scattered and lived in many different places, so you needed to go around and look for it, where to put in data, how to find the data. It was difficult and still is difficult for people to find the right sort of overviews. We see that between different views, we could have this different icons sort of symbolizing the same things. Data could differ in different views. There would be too many entry points for one sort of role. To navigate around the solution, figuring out when I need to do this kind of task, I need to go here. When I need to do something else, I need to go completely different place. So a struggle to sort of navigate the solution, you could say. So then with all of this, you could say feedback comes also some noise, some lacking adoption of the solution. So we, as you just mentioned, decided to sort of amend the very strict out-of-the-box strategy, still saying that we go for out-of-the-box as much as at all possible. So we do very little customization, but we now add TVCs or Helium, and we do that in order to enhance sort of our the UX of the solution, and we sort of created a very simple UX vision to guide us on that journey, because you could potentially then start saying, well, we'll start using TVCs on everything, and we don't really have a sort of a guiding star for that. So we made sort of a very simple vision to guide us, where we said we want sort of a simple guiding landing page, so that people, when they come into the solution, they understand where they need to go. We create sort of what we call my overviews, where people can sort of get overviews of my changes, my tasks, my specifications, my documents, that kind of thing. And we would clean interfaces so that clean them up so that they would only show and will only show functionality that's relevant for Arla users, and help people by making it more logical where they would be adding data. So in the the creation phase of the data, making that easier, and also when we change data. So and of course you could say that there could be other things that we could do to help this along, but clearly TVCs and Helium are sort of what we have selected to help us on that in 3D space, and also in our project tool.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so these are sort of two examples. So what I was talking about just before was perhaps more that the 3D space area, we're cleaning that up, but and we're doing that with that vision in mind. When we then look at these two examples, the one on the left side is the project management tool that we call Project Planner in our setup. And here you could say, use a little bit of a different strategy than what we've done on everything else. So when we look into a project tool and the people who be working in there, they have a little bit of a different profile to many of the other users that we have in 3DX. And starting this up also meant we needed to make sure that we could get these users on board and start to use the solution. And on top of that list of, you could say, urequirements for the solution was usability. This needed to be user-friendly. And the out-of-the-box was not user-friendly enough and did not sort of have some of the requirements that were needed in order to, you could say, convince might not be the right word, but still convince users to start using the project tool. So that has been key for us to succeed using TVC and Helium in that part. And then the other part on the right side is the change process. And I think as we have also heard a little bit earlier today, and as I'm sure all users of 3DX and any other PLM system for that matter would agree that change of components or in our case ingredients and products, that's a really, really complicated, very heavy administrative, hard to do task. So and if you so one thing is that it's already hard just from a business process perspective to do a change. If you then add system functionality that is also a little bit difficult and very much an expert system, then that change process becomes almost impossible. So what we did was to create a more user-friendly process or workflow here, where we help users get the overview of where they are in this change process. So what came before them, what's coming up next, and clarity on what is it actually I'm supposed to be doing. So what is my task right now in doing whatever approval or change that needs to happen in order for this change to run through. So that has also been and is still an area where we are developing.
Super, thank you, Katja. Time flies. Thank you for the interview, and I would say my key takeaways from this was or is the strong usability focus you have at Arla, and this a bit untraditional way of first trying it out and then have kind of the user community pointing out to you what actually need fixing. Thank you.
You're welcome.